What's up everyone, this is Cloud Chief, and in today's video I'm doing an overview of the new event called Odyssey. Odyssey is a new event for 11 that was released in 2020 in the March update. Unless you are at least 119 in your item level, I would not suggest doing this event because even at 119 the mobs in here hit really hard. So to access this event, you need to head out to Rabao, and the conflux that will warp you into Odyssey is near the second home point. To be able to enter Odyssey, you need a key item called a Moglophone. You can actually get this by clicking the question mark next to the conflux. You can only hold one Moglophone per day. You can pick up another one every 20 hours. It is possible to hold one Moglophone in your key item inventory and then wait, and then in a day you could then go ahead and enter, and as soon as you're done that run, turn around and immediately pick up another Moglophone, allowing you to do 2 runs every other day. This event only allows up to 6 people, so you cannot do this with an alliance, but you can solo it with trusts. The main objective of Odyssey seems just to be to farm up Lustreless Scales. While you will get gil for getting to the final conflux on floor 7, and the amount you get depends on the number of mobs you defeated in your run, but the main point seems to be the scales that you can turn around and sell on the auction house or bazaar for gil, but they are also used to upgrade Unity NM equipment so it has an augment on it. As of the time of this video coming out, you can only do 119 equipment, but I'm pretty sure they are going to be releasing other Unity NM equipment to do the same thing in likely a different zone for Odyssey. To be able to start the process to be able to upgrade your 119 Unity NM equipment, you need to have reached the final conflux on floor 7, and you need to have the records of eminence for it under content flagged when you go ahead and click the final conflux. Once you've met that, you are then able to start the process of upgrading your Unity NM equipment. Be aware that it takes almost 1200 scales to upgrade one piece of equipment to its maximum augments. So for Odyssey itself, as for just the A path that we have, there are 7 different floors. The floors are always laid out in the same exact way for all 7 floors. The conflux to move up each floor is also in a static place and does not move. In addition to just having the confluxes that just move you up and down one floor, on floor 1, 3, and 5, there are translocators that can actually warp you to any other translocator once you have clicked it on each floor. So you do need to have traveled up and clicked the translocator before you can teleport between it. However, as soon as you've done it, you're good forever to have the translocator to warp between. So you only need to do it once, and then you could say immediately enter a run and jump up to floor 5 if you so desired. So there are 2 kind of sets of mobs that will explain about. The first sets of mob always appear in sets of 10, and they are always in static locations. However, every run, what type of mob is going to appear at the locations is completely random, and every time you come in, it is going to be completely different which mobs are there. On top of that, on odd floors, you will find these items called halos, and if you've done Dynamis Divergence and gotten to wave 3, these will also look like fetters. Near where you will find a halo, you will actually see semi-invisible beastmen. You cannot target the beastmen or do any actions against the beastmen until you go ahead and take out the halo. Once the halo is destroyed, the beastmen will then no longer be invisible, and you will be able to target and kill them per normal. As for the normal mobs, they all aggro to sound and sight, regardless of their type. If, say, they only aggro to sound and don't aggro to sight, or vice versa, out in regular Vanadil, that is not the case here. All mobs will aggro to sound and sight. Also, undead aggro to low HP, and while I haven't verified it, I imagine any Arcana will aggro to magic. And while this is the case that they all aggro, normal mobs do not aggro if you are sneaked and invis. So definitely bring some form of sneak and invis when doing this run, as there are definitely going to be points when you need to run past mobs. As for the Beastmen, they will only aggro according to what they would normally aggro in normal Vanadil. So say Yagudos will aggro to sight and Quadavs will aggro to sound. Also be aware that the Beastmen do true sight or true sound aggro. So sneak and invis will not help you against the Beastmen. Also, the Beastmen do link, whereas the normal mobs throughout the zone, none of them link at all. Something else to be aware of is that if you or a party member has hate on a mob, you cannot interact with a conflux and you cannot move up floors. So you do have to defeat whatever mobs you have, or somehow lose hate before you are going to be able to go up. This also counts for the invisible Beastmen. So very likely, if you aggro an invisible Beastman, you are either going to have to die to lose hate, or you're going to have to go ahead and take out the Halo and then go ahead and take out the said invisible Beastmen. If you defeat a Halo and then also defeat all the Beastmen that were around and corresponding to that Halo, you will actually get an Ethereal Junction that you can turn around and pop an NM for some Izzet, and then defeat the NM for some scales. You also can use Izzet to open chests that are found throughout Odyssey. Also to be aware that a thief can actually use thief tools to pick the lock on a chest and get that. But just like if you were picking a real chest in the game, you do have a chance of getting a mimic. There is also an Ethereal Junction that is going to randomly be on the floor, and you can actually go ahead and trade one of the unique items that drops from the 119 Unity NMs that are used to upgrade the weapons or armor you get from the Unity NMs to pop an NM of the same type in Odyssey. Defeating NMs has an increased drop on scales, and also has a decent chance of dropping a box of scales, which gives you a fair number of scales when you open it. You can also get boxes of scales from chests, and any monster, even just the normal monsters, have a chance of just dropping a normal scale. And that about covers my overview of Odyssey. I am sure there is stuff that was missed, and I'm sure there's going to be additions to Odyssey that are going to come, which I will then have to make follow-up videos for. I also plan on making a video to show how you can get to the top floor and the locations of all the confluxes and translocators throughout Odyssey. So keep on the lookout for follow-up videos. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for supporting the channel, and may you have success in all you do.